Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Daily Habit, day 19. Thank you, everybody who's come along on this journey thus far. I appreciate it. I hope in your own life you're contemplating and working on something that you want. Each day you have to work at it. Not every day is easy. Not every day is the same. So we just finished up with reading our book about change. And so today, by Brad Stulberg, you can look back on that. There's a playlist there for you if you have not. And this is your first time coming to my channel. Sorry, I'm a little bit subdued this morning. You can look at that. There's about 10 days worth of us going through that book, kind of going through the Cliff Notes version of, dealing with change and how to deal with it, and how to get the most out of it. So definitely read that. That's a book by Brad Stulberg. And I said I would be pivoting to a new book, and so it's going to be between two books. I really love quotes, and then I like to kind of think about what they mean or kind of how they inspire you. But the book that I'm going to start with is called The Dash. I think a lot of folks out there may have heard of this. It's been around a long time. But it's basically a poem about life. But there's obviously, in this particular book, they have an introduction that we'll go through. And then we have the poem itself. And then we have some further stories related to that we can kind of contemplate and think about. So it's about 92 pages. I'm going to try to actually stick to this format of trying to get through this one. It's a relatively short book, so I think it'll be good for us. So the name of the book again is The Dash, Making a Difference with Your Life by Linda Ellis and Mac Anderson. And so today, hopefully your Sunday is going well. Hopefully your Saturday was exceptional. As always, make it a great day. So introduction is by Mac Anderson. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had received a handwritten note from Anna Lee Wilson, a accessories franchisee from Evansville, Indiana. And at the bottom of the note was a postscript that read, "I know you have inspirational poems, and this is my all-time favorite. It's titled The Dash by Linda Ellis." Now, I can count on one hand how many times I've read something that stopped me in my tracks. Words that bypassed the brain and went straight to the heart. This was one of those moments. I immediately thought, how could I use my talents to share these powerful, thought-provoking words with the rest of the world? I contacted Linda Ellis, introduced myself, and told her how much I love her poem. She told me how in one afternoon in 1996, she was inspired to write The Dash. Her life, she said, has not been the same since then. And it hasn't been for anyone who has ever read her powerful words either. That conversation sparked our publication of The Dash in 2005. Since we started Simple Truths almost 7 years ago, we've been blessed to publish over 100 inspirational books written by some of the best authors in the world. But all of the books we've created, none have had the emotional response of The Dash. How do we know? Because we've heard from thousands of people all over the world telling us how The Dash has touched their souls and changed the way they think about life. That's what this special edition of The Dash is all about. It's to celebrate life. It's to thank all those wonderful people for sharing how the Dash has made a difference in their lives, and to inspire you to make a difference with yours. I invite you to experience the power of Linda's poem and the content of our original book. On page 92, you'll be able to enjoy some of the wonderful stories submitted by our readers about the impact the poem has had in their lives. I hope it'll inspire you to live your Dash with passion. Live with passion. Mac Anderson, founder, Successories, and Simple Truths. So it gives you some background on this particular poem. I've read it, and then I've read it again, and I think this is one of those poems where you can read it at different points in your life. It's a good story. I'm coming up on my middle age now, so things change, perspectives change, events change. Your circle of life changes as you go through those phases. So let's get started. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone, from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth, and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth. And now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love, and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. And are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say and about how you spent your dash? Something to consider. I think it's a very short and poignant poem, and it makes you think, right? It's always that question of how you're spending your life. It's not the beginning and the end, but it's what you do with that time that you're given. Whatever time you're given on this earth, it's limited. As my dad would say, none of us are getting out of here alive. Now, it's a terrible sentiment, but it's true. Another one, he says, it's a good day. And he would say something like, I'm not 6 feet under. He has a lot of sayings. My grandmother was another one. She was Irish, so amazing woman. Miss her even today. A lot of times I have fond memories of her. She always had a way of saying things. And I think the Irish maybe have a lot of wonderful poems, a lot of wonderful ways of saying things. When you have your funeral, they don't have a funeral. They have what's called a wake. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it out there. So they celebrate the life, your life, all the good things, all the good moments. So we'll get back into this tomorrow. Because from here, we'll kind of unpack it a little bit more, and there'll be some additional poems and stories that go with this. And then at the end, there'll be some commentary from folks. And we may reread this Dash poem again if you want. I think it makes sense. You can go back to it today and listen to it. You can look this up, this poem by Linda Ellis. But this is one that I've always loved referring back to. And like I said, I think you can refer back to it at different times in your life as a reminder to kind of find that balance, right? If you're out of balance, where are you out of balance? What can you adjust? These are some of the concepts we talked about in Brad Stulberg's book as well. You know, what can you give up if you need to? What can you change? Be willing to do that. That dash is not as long as you think. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe. And I've always tried to make this better. I love also, if there's anything you think I need to change, any books even that you think that might be interesting to discover, any topics that you might want to go through. Like I said, I think this is a learning process for me. I appreciate any feedback given. I'm enjoying the process day in and day out. This is day 19. As we said originally, how long does it take to form a habit? Some say 16 days. Most say between 30 and 60 days. So this habit so far is the idea of reading something each day as a part of my quiet time in the mornings with God, with my Lord, with my Maker, with creation, right? So read something, contemplate something, and also learn how to do this concept of YouTube and just enjoying something that's not like your normal life, right? Something a little bit more creative, perhaps. So thanks for listening to me ramble on. Appreciate it as always. Hope again that you're having a lovely Sunday. God bless. See you on the other side tomorrow. Bye-bye.